All right, good morning. Welcome to stream number 3, Tuesday the 9th of December. So just to start off with, I want to go through yesterday, which was a tricky morning, which we finished just above break even. We did really well yesterday to avoid all of this first sort of 90 minutes of sideways nothingness, where the market just sort of bounced, and the range has got smaller and smaller and smaller. Because we could have shorted down here, we didn't, so we saved ourselves a loss. We actually had 2 opportunities to short there and we avoided it. We had opportunities to go long up here, which we avoided. Now this is where the market got interesting. I called it as it was happening around here. I called it that the market was starting to accumulate above VWAP. So I'll quickly put VWAP in. So the market was really starting to accumulate above, and that to me was quite a bullish signal. Ignore these lines for the previous day close and whatnot, because they're for today. And I was just, thinking, could I have gone long here? It's always easy on a stationary chart. It's always easy. But, I do feel that when you see today, I'm going to be slightly more trusting of myself when it comes to seeing this sort of price action. Because I ended up taking a long position here, which ended up getting stopped out for basically nothing. And then I went in again here. And that's another key thing I wanted to look at, because this was the level that we were looking to retest. This was the level, this high of the day so far, which is what we initially went long off before getting stopped out. We came down and I saw this here as our retest, but it actually wasn't, because it never actually touched. We went long here, got stopped out for about minus £90 before eventually re-entering here for a decent trade. But this was the trade right here, because this actually perfectly retested the high of the morning, closing on a strong green candle. So going long here would have been, which is sort of what I did, but I should have waited for this. So today I'm going to make sure I wait for that true retest before going long, because that's the difference between yesterday being break even through going long here versus yesterday being profitable by going long here. I stopped trading at about 10:15, but we did have, if we had been around, the next good setup was at 11:36. This VWAP retest here, this would have been great, just going long on the close of this candle, and that would have been like probably a 2-to-1 trade or something like that, back to the highs. So that would have been a good one. Obviously nothing we can do at 11:30 because we're not around, but if we see that sort of thing during our session, it's the sort of trade that we would take. Right, anyway, on to today. Looking quite bullish here in the pre-market. I mean, once again, though, we are in a range, within a range. We're now in this daily range on the 1-minute chart. We're within yesterday's range, which was within Friday's range. So, I mean, and it's just the market is really accumulating. It's trying to, it's really finding fair value going into tomorrow's Fed decision. So once again, don't really expect a huge amount of volatility. If we get it, great. And I'm just going to react to what the market gives. But once again, need to be very much aware that I'm going to need to be patient. We are sat, though, above the overnight range. And it looks like we're going to open above the overnight range. Yesterday, we closed down here at 24.046. But really, for things to get interesting today, we're going to need to push above yesterday's and Friday's high, or we're going to need to push down below the overnight range. If we're within yesterday's or Friday's range, then we need to be quite cautious of trying to trade any breakouts, because what may look like a breakout on our 1 minute chart, when taken under wider context, might actually not mean much at all. So this is shaping up to be one of those weeks where it's better to avoid losing than it is trying to really win. But there haven't been many weeks like that now for a while. There's really not been many weeks like that at all. So, and I've made good money in the last few weeks while the opportunities have been there. So, I have no right to be frustrated, because the market has really given a lot recently. So now we just be patient. So same process as yesterday. No trades until 8:15 and no trades till 8:30 if we sell off back into the overnight range. So we can just sort of chill out and observe. I am going to be using, for the first time today, the 10-second chart for entries to get better entries, which I've got on a separate screen. I don't actually have the 10-second chart available here on TradingView, so I'll actually be using a different website. If it's useful, I'll just pay for a better subscription on TradingView, which gives me access to it. But I'm going to try it out first. I think, especially when the market's trading without so much volatility, being able to get real accurate entries on a 10-second chart could be really, really useful. That's a very bullish second 1 minute bar. We'll see what this third 1 minute bar can do. We are just 40 points away from Friday's high up here, and if we do push higher today, which we very much could, and this is a daily chart now, this sort of sky's the limit, really. Sky is the limit. If we push above, you're then sort of looking at the next resistance not coming till really at least 250. So it'll be interesting to see what the market does should we push higher. Now, if we do push above Friday's high before 8:15, then I would look at potentially trading early. Really, this no trade for the first 15 minutes rule is just so that I don't get overexcited and end up, trading some sort of fake out. Okay, now we're coming up to, and we've actually just blasted through, at least momentarily, yesterday's high. So the market's definitely looking way more active than it was yesterday already, which is good. Oh, great. TradingView is frozen. Well, that's not good. Totally frozen. Let's reset this. That never happens. Fortunately, my TD365 is working fine. TradingView is not happy. Huh. That is weird. That is weird. Oh dear. Okay, well, let's change screens so you can see that while I try and sort out what TradingView's doing. Okay, we're back. That didn't take long. Hopefully it hasn't deleted my drawings and stuff. No, okay, we're good. We're good. All right, so here we go. First 5-minute candle, closing right around yesterday's high. Seeing resistance coming in. Now the overnight range is down here, but we've actually created another range here above it. This pre-market high will be interesting to see if this holds. Okay, we are coming up to last week's high now. Now this is where it does get interesting. Average true range is up from yesterday. We were down, I think, around 6 yesterday. We're up to 10 today. Okay. Now I really don't want to trade along yet, because this could just be an opening move to test last week's high, and then it could sell right off, which is sort of the whole reason I have this no trading off the open rule. But it's certainly interesting. Oh, there it is. Okay, there's a real battle going on now. Real battle. Oh, certainly good to see the market being far more interesting than yesterday. you can see a real battle going on here. Market trying to decide, are we going to push to new highs, or are we going to stick within the range that we've been in for the last couple of sessions? The way the market's moving right now, I'd expect it to make new highs. It might not hold them, but I'd expect it to have a go. Certainly don't want to be looking at entering any trades yet, though. If we do break above this prior week high and then test it, then I would very much consider being long. On the left here is the 30-minute chart since Friday morning. See what happens last time we came up here. Massive sell. That was in the US session. So we're creating a consolidation level here between yesterday's high and Friday's high. And this could be the level that we use to trade off. If we can break above and then come back down to test, and then we'll trade the follow through, which would be, if that happens, would be a pretty classic setup. Will this be the candle that does it? So yesterday, which we mentioned at the start, we saw the market accumulate at around 9:30 at the highs of the day. And that's what the market's doing now. When it's accumulating at the highs, it's the market accepting that the fair value is no longer down here. And that's when the market's going to break out. Well, it's when it's likely going to break out. And that's what we're doing now. So we're making highs, and we're going to let this market go. And then we're going to look to re-enter on a test. So not yet. I could enter now, but I want to see the market really go first. So many times in the past, I would have entered right there, and that may well work out. But I now opt for a more patient approach. I'm just going to change screens. We've not really had any meaningful retracement yet. It's been all upside. Sort of trend you can draw a pretty nice smooth trend line here. Okay, so that's our proper breakout. Now if we get a retest, I would look to be long. Stop loss, yeah, 20-point stop loss would be sufficient. Okay, stand by. So we've broken, we've retested. Okay, I'm long. I'm long. Tricky one, this. Tricky one. Hoping I'm not too early to the party. But we'll find out. My entry follows the rules. And that's the most important thing, as long as we're following the rules. Okay. Given we're at new highs here, it's hard to really know how to manage this one. It's hard to know. I'm not seeing anything to make me unhappy about this trade. This is good. Okay, stop loss goes to break even. I really have no reason to come out of this trade. I really, really don't have any reason. If it sells off, it sells off. But I simply see nothing in the price action or the daily chart or the weekly chart that says I need to get out. Okay, I'm taking half at plus 20 because that's a 1 hour trade. And then I'm going to leave the remaining, but put a trailing stop loss. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just going to leave it at break even. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. But we're half out. Okay, so we're half profit, which is about £80 approximately, because so far the market has not retraced one bit. We are just completely just upside and nothing else. Okay, I'm going to move stop loss up below this 1 minute candle because that feels like a good protection. Small little double bottom here. Taken another half, so I'm 3/4 out of this position. So 120 profit taken, and then the rest of this position I'm just going to trail a stop loss. The reason that I've taken profit is the average true range is 16 currently, and we're currently sat about 50 points above VWAP. So for me, I see that as overextension. Okay, I'm taking full profit. Also, we're so early in the market, there is no reason why we can't re-enter after a pullback. And there's no reason we can't re-enter higher up either. Okay, let's just swap back screens. I mean, that's a great trade. It's a bloody easy trade, so I'm not going to act like I've done anything amazing there, but it's a good trade. Right, so that is a total profit there of £172.40, which is great, which is bloody great. Okay, so yeah, here we go. We can just see that the on a 1 minute chart, the average true range is 9.1, and we're sat 50 points above VWAP. So that's what, like five to six multiples of the average true range. Now, yeah, sure, if the market really wants, it can carry on, but I think it's more likely to retrace, even if it's just a little bit. And that's too nice a profit to not bank it early on. So the 15-minute chart here on the left, this bar here is the school run bar. So this will close in 6 minutes. And if this closes strong green, then that's once again another bullish signal. So there's a lot of bullishness going on today. I just don't want to get caught being overexcited. So the market might continue higher, but I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm really happy with that trade. Really, really happy with that trade. So what I want to do is I want to try and find some sort of idea of where we're going potentially this morning. I don't want to just be trading completely blind. I like to have some sort of levels marked. So we're just on a 4-hour chart here. I'm just going to get rid of all the drawings that we've currently got. Here we go. I mean, the clear level of resistance is up here at 500, but that's over 300 points away. It would be quite something if we had a 300-point rally today. So I think this could be a case of we're patient, we look for an entry that's absolutely 10 out of 10, and if we get an absolute 10 out of 10, then we just let it run. We go to a higher time frame, go to a 15-minute chart, and we just let it run. So what I mean by that is, if we get a great entry today, if we get another great entry today, rather than being on this 1-minute chart trailing a stop loss, we just close the 1-minute chart completely and we just look at a 15. So we're trying to play a longer term trend. Well, as you can see, the market is retracing now. So where did we actually take profit? I'm trying to remember where we took it. We took it here at 74. Yeah, we did miss out on a potential another like 10 points or so, but now the market's coming down. So it's impossible to time the market at the top perfectly. But the fact that I've gotten out pretty close to the top, very, very happy. Oh man, right, okay. Right, I'm gonna go and make a cup of tea. There's no need for me to stare at this now. I'm just gonna go and calm down. I'll be back in about 3 minutes. Okay, we are back. Certainly was the correct decision to take profit because the market's now moved all the way back, but actually below our entry. We're actually at a bit of an interesting moment right now because the market's come back to this prior week high, right at school run as well, and right at VWAP. So we've got some real confluence. I keep using that word, but I think it's a useful word. So I want to be patient here. I've just made a good profit. I don't really feel a desperate desire to give that all back to the market. However, if we can hold above VWAP with a strong retest, it would be insane not to take that trade, because that would tick every box imaginable. So what have we done? We've broken out and now we're retesting. Okay, so I traded what would be like a mini breakout retest within this 1 minute candle, but this is a larger time frame retest. We've also got on the 15-minute chart a prior bar low setting up right now, and we discussed prior bar lows yesterday. The concept of buyers coming in below the low and sellers coming in above the high, and well, we'll see if that happens or not. They're certainly trying. There's certainly buyers there, just don't know if they're going to be strong enough. So we've already sold below the previous week high. We've sold below VWAP. So for me to be long again, I'd need to see a move back above, a retest, and holding once again, and then a move up. If we carry on moving down, then I will probably be finished for the day, because I don't want to be selling short unless we're all the way down here below the overnight range. So unless the market completely collapses, which, I wouldn't mind, then I will not be trading any shorts. Okay, some real strength there. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, wow. Okay. So, again, we don't want to get overexcited. Don't want to rush. But that is a very, very bullish 1 minute candle. So if we can close up somewhere here, come back down and retest, then I will be reloading that long position. Look at the prior bar low here. So if you'd have been a buyer down here, which clearly many people were, you would be laughing. Wow. Okay. So stop loss would go below here if we get our entry. Now the market might end up just running away. If it does, that's no stress. So stop loss would be down at 30. Okay, we are coming down to retest, as you can see. So if we get some strength, I will be long with actually needs slightly more than a 20-point stop loss. We'll reduce our size a touch. Okay, stand by. We want to see a retest. We don't want to do what we did yesterday, which was buying before we'd seen a true retest. What's the 5 minute saying? Yeah, the 5 minute is giving you the same idea, really. Okay, I am long. I'm long with a 20-point stop loss. Just going to change screens over again. And then we will manage our position from here. Again, this is as good as it gets. So if this stops us out, no hard feelings, because I'd take this trade every day of the year without, any second thought. This is an absolute beauty. Right, so half profits are going to be taken up here if we get so lucky. Stop loss is going to break even already. If we come back down and it stops us out, we can just reload the position, no problem. But if aggressive selling does come in here, I don't really want to get in the way of it. Come on, market, rally up, baby. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Looking good here. Looking really good here. Not gonna lie. Hopefully don't jinx myself. We are looking damn good. The only bit of the only slight problem I'm seeing is the 5-minute chart. Our prior bar low on the 15-minute. We've also got a prior bar high sell on the 5-minute. I'm just hoping that the market's going to be strong enough to hold that. If we need another test of VWAP before we end up pushing higher, then we can always get stopped out of this position and go back in. I'm just going to put anchored VWAP onto this screen. Boom, boom, boom. So anchored VWAP is down here. This might be what we need to retest, and it looks like that is going to be the case. Okay, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. Okay, so again, if buyers come in right now and push it higher, then that's fine. I don't want to get in the way of the market wanting to retest VWAP. Similarly, if buyers do come in now, we could always go long again with our stop loss down here. But I do feel like there's going to be, well, if the market is going to move higher today, there is going to be another good entry where we don't need to sweat through sitting in drawdown. This is not the sort of morning where I should be sitting through drawdown. Okay. Again, I think this was a good idea to put stop loss to break even. I mean, could you take profit there? Sure. But again, I don't really see a reason why the market wouldn't push here. It would, Okay, so it looks like the market's trying to turn around again. The other possibility here is that the market's just going to end up sitting inside a range. It might just sit in a range above last week's high. So, this might have been all the fun we're going to have today. If that's the case, that's not a problem. God, it really did feel like a good entry, though. Really did feel like a good entry. If we do test, this is not right, by the way. This line, I'm just going to delete this. This is not correct. I've got it on my other screen. Anchored VWAP is just around here, right? Just around here. So if we had stayed in the position, we'd be getting dangerously close to being stopped out now. So very much pleased with my decision to move stop loss up. So we are right here. This is anchored VWAP now. So we'll see if there's a reaction. Oh, okay, there is a reaction, but we just blasted straight through it. This is also now the prior week high right here. Wow, that's interesting. Buyers really came in. Buyers really came in here below prior bar low on the 15-minute. It was really strong, and they've just been blasted. Really have just been blasted. So we're now back below VWAP. We're now back below the prior week high. And we're now back right down to that prior bar low area. See, trading's never that easy. It's never that easy. You never get two trades in quick succession that just run away to your take profit. There's always something. There's always something that makes it hard. Okay, so buyers again coming in at the prior bar low. Really, really trying hard now. If this level breaks, I would expect a deeper retracement. If this level holds, we will try again. But I'm not going to jump in too early here because the sellers do seem pretty strong. If I wanted to be really aggressive, I could go long here. But given the strength of some of the selling that I'm seeing, I'm not going to be too aggressive. Has really nicely double bottom though. That is a really lovely double bottom right around the prior week high. Okay. If we come back down here, I might go long. Okay, I'm long again. To me, strong support and buying. It's the sort of setup where I just have to take it because it's following all my rules, ticking all my boxes. If I sit on the sidelines and don't take it, I'd feel a little bit silly. Sure, it might not work out, but this is the sort of trade that I should take. Oh, this is difficult. This is difficult. Okay. That's VWAP right there. That's a perfect test of VWAP. Oh man, there is a battle going on. Okay, I don't like it. I'm getting out. It could go to the moon. I don't like this price action though. I really don't like that price action at all. Super choppy. So I've just I've closed that position for a £10 loss. £10 loss. And I know that I could regret it, but I really don't. I don't like some of this price action here. Now, if we see a reason to re-enter, I will re-enter quite happily. I do feel like this could be a really good level to trade off, but I want to wait for a bit more confirmation first. It's just a lot of back and forth, and when we're testing such key levels, I want to see more aggression. And I'm looking at the 5-minute chart, and it's not looking so great. There's just a lot of sellers. There's a lot of selling. It doesn't mean it's not going to end up going higher. It's just what I was afraid of, and what could still happen. I was just afraid of the market just completely flushing and coming back down here. So I'm just going to let the market play out. I'm going to let the market play out. I mean, if you look where we traded earlier, how clean that move was, you know, between 8:10 to 8:24, you know, we only had 3 red candles. Man. I'm glad I know I would be winning now if I'd have stayed in the trade, but I don't regret taking it a break even. I really don't. You can see the way the candle's behaving. It's just flickering, flickering, flickering. You know, the market's crawling up. It's not blasting up. Okay, I'll swap screens again. I'm still long bias. I just want to see some sort of price action that makes me feel really confident. Be interesting to see what happens here at the value area high. If we blast through and retest, I'm all for going long again. I just want to see some sort of aggression. You know, the aggression in the price action is what I'm looking for, because at the moment it feels very much range bound. The speed at which the market's moving. And if it is range bound, it's going to struggle to push much beyond this. If I'm wrong, and the market is wanting to break out to higher highs again, then we'll see it. We'll see it in the price. We do seem to be accumulating at the highs, so which is a good sign for a breakout. I've also got it in my mind that I'm about 160 odd, £170 up. Nice profit, nice trade. I don't feel the pressure to find another winning trade. I want the trade to find me. And down here, it felt like I was trying to find a trade. You can see the market selling off. Now, this is aggression, but we're seeing it on the downside. We've got, yeah, I mean that's what I want, but I just want that in the opposite direction. So that sort of speed, that where the market sort of jumps, where there's a shitload of orders are being filled instantaneously. That's aggression. And I just didn't see any of that to the long side. You could say, why not go short here? Well, because we're still overall bullish, and I don't like to go, contrarian to the prevailing trend, which is without a doubt a bullish one. We've got a prior bar low here on the 15-minute. We're also 2 minutes away from 9 a.m. that first hourly candle completing, which, as we saw yesterday, is sort of when the market started to wake up. So we'll see what happens today around 9 a.m. Now, again, we're coming down to VWAP. So if we test it and we look really strong, we can reload. But I do really want to see some legitimate, obvious strength in the market. Because at the moment, it's looking like we've made our highs. We've made our highs and we're looking like we're probably going to sell off. So if I am going to take another position, it needs to be, there needs to be some undeniable strength. So there has once again been a reaction on this prior bar low. We'll see whether it's a temporary reaction or a real one. To me, we're right in the middle of the range, so I wouldn't consider any sort of trade right now. So that's 9 o'clock. That is 9 o'clock. So the hourly candle is extremely bullish. Be interesting to see if we get a retest of last week's high on the hourly chart. That would be interesting. Because if you see a clear retest on the hourly chart, that is quite significant. The broader the time frame, the more robust the support or the resistance level is. So 1 minute support and resistance, you can't really trust hourly, daily, or weekly support resistance. Everyone takes note of that. So we're selling off aggressively back to VWAP. I would imagine that we're going to test last week's high. We could even maybe test yesterday's high. I still feel like there's a good trade in this today. Still feel like there's potentially a really damn good trade in this today. So if I had held this position, I would have won and it would have been great. But I felt the market was weak and I've been proved correct, because the move up was far more hesitant, far slower than this move down. This move down has been decisive. So whilst today it would have worked, I think many other days it would not work. Whereas this trade that we did take and we held and we won, this felt aggressive. I felt very confident buying on the back of that trend. And I felt very confident in this position as well, the one where we were break even, our second trade. I felt very confident here. That didn't quite work out, but that had some aggression behind it. So here we go. We've tested the prior week high and we are reacting to it. I don't want to, because there's always a reaction. There's almost always a reaction. So stop loss would be down 138, 137. So if we enter, we just need to make sure we get the correct stop loss size. What would be amazing is if we see a little test of VWAP here and a reaction, and then I can go long off the back of that. I don't really want to go long until there's some sort of mini push down. Which I think we're probably going to get. Yeah, here we go. So if we test VWAP and we say yes, please, then I will be long again. But we might be headed lower. So that is why I didn't buy here. Because if I had bought here, I'd already be just 5 points away from my stop loss. However, if this candle closes nice and strong and green, then that for me is a beautiful opportunity. But it has to close green with some sort of aggression. We're getting it. Stand by. Okay, I am long. And that is not looking very good. That is not looking very good at all. Damn it. Bloody strange. We are very close to being stopped out. Very close to being stopped out, unfortunately. Looking like an inevitability at this point. Yeah, this is headed lower. This is almost certainly headed lower. If this heads higher again, I have no idea what the hell's going on. Absolutely no idea. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. It is what it is. This is strange. Strange price action. I'm just going to go back over here just so I can see everything clearly. Oh, the market's coming back up again. I could cut my losses here. I could cut my losses here. But I think from almost for a learning opportunity, I'm just going to let it play out. Just going to let it play out. Because ultimately, I really liked the market on that entry. It ticked all my boxes. It would feel, I'm not going to sort of use hindsight and say, oh, actually, no, that wasn't a good entry. Now, I think the market is now headed lower, but I really have no idea what's going on right now. So I am just going to leave it. Man, this is just, it's gone completely dead. It's gone completely dead. Like 9 a.m. struck and all the life of the market has just disappeared. Really interesting. Really interesting. Okay, I've closed half my position. I've closed half to avoid having to take a full loss. And I'm going to let the rest just do its thing. I closed that first half, well, not break even, but very close to break even. Another £10, another £10 hit. Okay, and I've closed the rest. So I closed the rest for a net profit of £7.20. That's going to be me done for the morning, because I just do not like at all how this market is behaving. Now, yes, it could end up heading higher, but I really just don't feel it. This feels like a bullshit range. And ultimately, we made our money when the market was really rallying, and we've managed to risk manage our way to a very profitable morning. So here's the outcome. So this was our 80, 120, 172.20, and then we've lost about £3 since. That's about £170 for the morning, which, considering the market we're trading in, I think that's a damn good morning. Maybe now the market's going to decide to head higher. I don't know. Honestly, I'm content, because that was, I'd resigned myself to a loss here, and to be honest, I'd resigned myself to a loss on that last trade. So I'm honestly quite comfortable. All right. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully keep this positive run going. Still not had a losing morning. That's 3 positive mornings out of 3 so far. I'll see you then.